Welcome to the end of a rock's life cycle. I'm Naanless, and I'll be ruining the complex and well-crafted ending of this game. But first, an unreasonably long recap. Areelu opens a pathway between the realm of demons, the Abyss, and the realm of mortals, Golarion. This world wound splits the city of Isiz in half and allows the demons to swarm Golarion. On the outskirts of a peaceful city known as Canabris, our young rock Bagunga is being pumped full of demon soul by quirky old Areelu. He's then escorted into Canabris, which suddenly falls into chaos after the arrival of Demon Lord Deskari and his armies. Bagunga and friends rise to the occasion and quell the invasion force, bringing peace to the city. For his deeds, Queen Galfrey awards him the title of Knight Commander, and gives him command of a small army, known as the Fifth Crusade. Bagunga's new crusade marches their asses up to Dresen, liberates it from its demon occupiers, and secure the Sword of Valor, which has the ability to heavily weaken demons in a large city-sized radius. During the liberation, 2010 troll compilation videos start seeping their way into Bagunga's mythical soul. Wanting to learn more and destroy the demon's new power source, the gang jump headfirst into a portal to the Abyss, where they do odd jobs and goof around until they earn enough clout to talk to a big lady. They learn about the Nahindrian crystals, tell the big woman to piss off, and hop into a drunken captain's airship. They tell her to aim the ship at Hebzimira, leader of the Nahindrian mining operation and Demon Lord Baphomet's daughter. Some shenanigans go down, causing Hebzimira to die, and Demon Lord Baphomet to be incapacitated for the rest of the war. Wiping their hands clean of this mess, the party returns to Golarion and absolutely destroy the demon squatters that took over Dresen during their absence. Once all is clear, they realize that Queen Galfrey has taken the Sword of Valor and most of the crusade. She's currently marching them to Isiz, hoping to close the world wound. But Bagunga has other plans for the world wound. You see, he's been secretly conferring with a group of godlike clowns. Instead of closing the world wound and bringing peace, he plans on opening it to every other realm. For the meme. So Bagunga readies his clown crusade and marches towards the end. After a couple days' travel, they make it to the ruined city of Isiz. Immediately, they're met by Areelu.
Isiz, the erstwhile heart of Sarkoris, until it was cleaved in twain. I am here to give you a warning. Listen closely. Isiz has rotted away. It is steeped in abyssal emanations. Once Deskari breaks through, the consequences will be horrific. Many of your allies are here, and their camp is about to be attacked. The very same camp at which the reckless queen left your banner. The Sword of Valor. The city is also home to the Temple of Stone Manuscripts, one of the few surviving arcane libraries in Sarkoris, and the Locust Lord's minions are laying waste to it at this very moment. Choose, then, what is more valuable to you, and what you wish to save in time. Your allies and the banner, the Queen, or knowledge itself. Knowledge.
Valuing Crusaders and the Sword of Valor over some nerd shit, the party rushed to the makeshift camp. The Sword of Valor is finally back in Bagunga's control. But, unfortunately, Demon Lord Deskari has arrived.
The hour of reaping comes!
Tired of Deskari's shit, Bagunga sets his sights on the Demon Lord. But, not really knowing how to reach him, the party randomly wander the ruined city. It's raining blood and there are demons everywhere. Frankly, it's not very pleasant.
The inheritor, guide my blade!
Stab your
is active. Why not both?
Retreat is not an option.
After wiping out some demons, they finally find Demon Lord Deskari.
You are bad at pretending to be uninterested, imposter. I know you came down from heaven and even scooped to a conversation with that flighty killer Nocticula, the Crusader goddess, and the Lady in Shadow. So that is how far you are willing to go to be rid of me.
Ooh, sounds like somebody's jealous. The goddess had a chat with Nocticula, a chat with us. But no matter how much you yell at her, you get diddly squat.
It's no use, imposter. Your efforts are futile. I heard that even your new mortal weapon, your Crusader leader, laughed at you. I know what you're made of. Mortal ambitions, mortal frailty, and fear of decay, forever imprinted on mortal souls. Even yours. Once mortal Elmade. You were a mistake, imposter. As for your servant, I will begin today's feast with him.
Out! Into the fray! I think I can push through this!
Kneel before me. Impossible. I am chaos and death. I am the end of times. I cannot be defeated.
Absolutely baffled that he was brought to heel by a bunch of mortals, Deskari begins throwing insults. But Bagunga just calmly walks up, points to his collar, and mutters the words, "You got a spot right there." BAM! The storyteller crawls out of some crevice and congratulates the party. They've managed to defy a demon lord all on their own. An incredible feat. Unfortunately, while they were fighting Deskari, the crusade got into a scuffle, which ended with the death of Queen Galfrey and Irbeth. But this is no time to grieve. The crusade is spread thin and it's lacking leadership. Now that Deskari is gone, the main demon threat is neutralized. All that remains is the World Wound and Areelu Vorlesh. So Bagunga orders all Crusaders to return to Dresen, so they can regroup and strategize a plan. Back in Dresen, Anevia takes the opportunity to speak her mind.
Welcome back, Commander. We heard the news. I can't believe Her Majesty's gone. But the war's not over as long as you're still kicking. Plenty of folk don't approve of your methods, but nobody can deny that they work. Her Majesty's soldiers will follow you, because they know that if there's one person who can lead them to victory, it's you. This is where my crusade ends, Commander. Without Beth, I don't belong here. You're about to storm Threshold, right? You should give them a speech or something. You're gonna lead these knights into the final battle. Why not give them a few inspiring words?
The loss of Irbeth and now Anevia have definitely taken its toll on Bagunga. But now is not the time. He has a goal and will achieve it at all costs. For the meme. He then proceeds to rally the troops with a speech about drinking and partying. With a strong but slightly drunk war cry, the gang and the full force of the crusade march back to Isiz, one final time. Arriving at the ruined city, they fight throughout remains of Deskari's troops. After fighting for what seems like ages, Areelu reveals herself.
I will tell you the truth before we fight to the death. Would you like to know why I upended your life? My laboratory. The old house in the middle of nowhere that marked the entrance to my lab. It was the home of Areelu when I was still a mere mortal. I lived there with my son, away from the din of the crowd, and sheltered from the keen gaze of the Sarkorian witch hunters. It was a place where the reality of our world was in close proximity to the abyss. A place where I could study the magic forbidden to all Sarkorians. I thought I had hidden my home well, but I was wrong. They found it. They found us. At that hour, I was there, in the laboratory. That damned laboratory I loved so much. I was absorbed in one of my experiments when the hunters arrived on our doorstep. I was sitting at my desk, recording my observations, thoughts, and calculations, as was my habit. That's when I heard the noise outside. The fight was brief. It barely lasted a moment. By the time I sensed that something was amiss and hurried out to see what was happening, it was too late. All I could do was cradle the body of my dead child and cry after their departing soul. I promise. This demiplane. The first time I escaped from my cell and ran here, I was trying to resurrect my son. The soul had already received Pharasma's judgment and had been sent on the path determined by the gods. Into the abyss. And when I realized that, I rebelled. But not against my jailers. Not against those who had murdered my child. Not even against Sarkoris. My uprising was against destiny. Death and the laws that the gods had forced upon our lives. I wouldn't be satisfied with simply returning my son to life. I had to shatter this order once and for all, and make it so that neither Pharasma and her lackeys nor death itself could ever stand between us. Only by stepping beyond the bounds of what had been ordained for mortal kind, by obtaining powers that rivaled the divine, could we become free. And with this newfound purpose, I turned myself into a half-demon. I let the abyss into my soul, and into this world. I opened the world wound. I danced around 3 demon lords, making them assist me without ever revealing my true intentions. They just believed they were dealing with another power-hungry mortal. But in reality, I was after one thing. I wanted to find what was left of my son's soul and give him a new birth. One that would prevent anything from ever harming him again. And then I found you. I chose you because I felt a faint affinity to you. I thought I could bring back my child by tethering the mangled remnants of his soul to a pure mortal soul untouched by the abyss. I thought the power of the Nahindrian crystals would allow me to protect him forever. That I could tear him away from the dominion of mortal nature. But I was mistaken in both assumptions. Now I'm about to face the consequences of my mistake. You will witness them as well.
The party are suddenly teleported to a random room in the fortress. Everything is unraveling. It's complete chaos, and frankly, it's kinda messy and rude. Among the tattered remains of what used to be a room, the party finds some interesting little details. They find a tattered resurrection scroll, some shattered diamonds, and a note that just says, "I'm sorry." God, I wish I could just put these pieces together and figure out what they were alluding to. Like, what could this mean? Not really knowing what to do with this information, the party just move on and head deeper into the fortress.
The mortal who ventured recklessly into the abyss has now reached threshold. In Iz, you struck down my creator and master Deskari. But if that makes you dismissive of his echo, if you think I do not pose a threat, then you are greatly mistaken.
Yeah, it kind of just pathetically falls to the ground. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. The party find Areelu at the edge of the world wound.
This is where it happened. It was here that I conducted the ritual. Even if I could have brought back my son, I wouldn't have stopped at that. I wouldn't have been satisfied. Not after what I'd gone through. Not after the things I'd learned. I wanted to become stronger. And I wished the same for my child. I didn't want to be afraid of anything. It wasn't the dogs of Threshold, or even Sarkoris itself, that threatened us. It was the laws of a world governed by death, weakness, and separation. Asking me to stop is like asking a river not to flow, or a volcano not to erupt. I am still alive. I still have time. You, the current you, will have to die. But only to surrender the soul you share with my son. I never thought that I would be responsible for the creation of my most powerful enemy. But you didn't think I would make it easy, did you? I won't let you win. You need me alive. You want to use me to close the wound. But I can destroy myself before you have a chance.
But Bagunga needs the wound to remain open to fulfill his grand plan. And maybe he has a bit of empathy for his creator. But anyway, he tries to talk her off the ledge. Welcome to my TED Talk. Here are 3 reasons why you shouldn't kill yourself. Point 1. Maybe she didn't fully fail. Maybe her son's soul is still influencing Bagunga in some small, subtle ways. When she disguised herself as Yaniel and asked Bagunga a bunch of questions, it was to see if her son's instincts would arise. And, well, Bagunga answered every question perfectly. So, her son's soul must have some kind of influence. Probably, maybe. Point number 2. With the soul given to him, Bagunga's reached the heights of mythic power and become an almost perfect being. Actually, let's be real, a perfect being. As its creator, she should be proud. Point 3. It's the most important one. She wouldn't want to just die and leave Suture alone, right? Like, come on, he's just a little guy. Look at him.
I've been waiting for you to get distracted so I can stab you in the back.
Fine. Let's say I don't destroy myself. What happens now?
Before she could finish her sentence, Bagunga pushes past her. He has one final joke to tell. And this time, he's the punchline. He throws the multi-dimensional needle into the world wound and leaps in. The crusade was for nothing. The world wound remains open on the surface of Galeria. Bagunga avoided his death by joining with the entity known as Sheikah the Many. No one knows if he's still alive in there or lost within its infinite personalities. The world wound became a crossroads to every realm. Constant wars were waged, and mortals suffered greatly for it. You don't like this ending? Okay, scrap that. Bagunga's fine. He didn't lose himself within Sheikah. He's chilling somewhere, he's fine. The Crossroads is actually a very peaceful place, with a bustling market and very wholesome diplomatic relations. King Thaberdeen ruled over Dresen for years, and he was known as the best monarch ever. He just kind of kept throwing feast after feast, celebration after celebration, and was known to give his subjects incredible luck. After centuries, people forgot about the Crusades and it all became legend. Dresen now stands as just another old castle. Queen Galfried died, leaving no heirs to replace her. Her failure to be a sex-having Chad left a void in Mendev. Of course, power struggles ensued. But on a positive note, many nobles wished to see Darende as king, so... A surge of refugees went to Canabris, looking to see where all the legends started. The Eagle Watch have a hard time keeping down the crime rate with this new influx of population. So Canabris stands, but it's a bit of a shithole. Lady Nocticula retreated to her realm, but was inspired by Bagunga. If a mere mortal can reach such heights, what could a demon lord do? Both Baphomet and Deskari intend to recover and continue their war on Golarion. Anevia, now alone, left without a trace. No one knows where she is. The storyteller is still wandering the lands, looking for his lost memories. Finian lives the same cycle over and over and over again, being passed to a warrior's hands, serving them for a couple years, then being lost in the chaos of battle, only to be found by another. This cycle continues to this very day. Ember officially joined her own religion, the Redeemed Brotherhood. It grew to have a really large influence and truly do good in this world. Darende got older and more mature, less eccentric and more cold. He grew in power and became an imperious leader. Through that darkness, he found true happiness. Aww. Woljif was seen as a war hero, and that followed with good wealth. He made some smart investments and opened a charity for street urchins. He's now a wealthy noble with a top hat, a cane, and a bit of a belly. He's been spotted traveling the lands and visiting interesting places with Darende. Regel felt so betrayed and shocked by Bagunga's final actions that it reversed the effects of the bleaching by about a century. He now spends his new extended life trying to undo what Bagunga's done. And finally, Staunton was buried in the drainage system of a dentist's office, so he can be spat on for eternity.
And what of me, the writer of these words? The half-demon witch known as the architect of the world wound. The victor spared my life in a gesture that was not quite a boon, not quite charity. I was left without hope, without a chance of finding a purpose again. I lived out my remaining days in an isolated cottage, far from everyone, needed by none, discovered by none. I have recounted the story of my life for you, Pharasma, Lady of Graves. Not only of my life, but of the Commander's also. I believe the tale of such an illustrious figure would pique even a goddess's curiosity. Now you know everything. I await your verdict, goddess.
The laws of the universe have existed for millennia. They are incontrovertible. But even they allow the decider of fate some degree of influence over the verdict. You wrought great evil, while it stemmed from the evil that was done to you. Your actions far exceeded it. Your soul is dark, and there is only one place for you in the...
Bagunga's consciousness intervenes. Out of a selfish love for his creator, he begs Pharasma to have mercy on Areelu's soul.
And yet, the one whom you harmed most of all now appeals to me on your behalf. I shall send you to the Maelstrom, the plane on the edge of the world. A place to which the gods' gazes do not stray. There you will find yourself. Or you will perish in the whirlwind of chaos that is your soul. So be it. Now you, the mortal who has risen so high as to stand boldly in the presence of the goddess of fate. You have done the impossible, and you will be remembered as long as this universe exists. You have earned your peace.
This marks the end of this series. It only took me 3 years. But it's not the end of this format. I need something to procrastinate, you know? I'm doing Rogue Trader next, of course. But I'm thinking of making these longer, like 40 minutes to an hour. Each video would encapsulate a full act or like a huge story arc or something. My uploads are already pretty rare and sparse, but this would make sure that when I do upload, you would have a lot to sink your teeth in. And, long-form content is the meta right now, I think. This means that my upload times will be even longer, but to make the content drought less droughty, I moved all the streaming content and shorts from Naanless Shorts onto the main channel. My friends and I stream somewhat regularly, so if you need some background noise or second monitor content, there's hundreds of VODs on Naanless Shorts, and plenty more to come on the main channel. Big thanks to everyone who watched, commented, and supported over the years. Especially you. If you have extra time on your hands, consider checking out my friends and dropping a sub. Like, come on, chop chop, I'm trying to be a millionaire here. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the grim, dark future.